Black Kamala Harris voters, I'm going to make you feel good and understand what's really going on. So pay attention, my fellow liberals and leftists. Calm down, then calm down. Understand that no matter what this man is throwing, all he's throwing is shock and awe. It's sickening, it's tiring. But here's the good news. There's a formulaic thing that's happening to him. I will explain it on a daily basis. The first thing I want to tell you is subscribe to my channel. You will love me. I'm the only person talking from a black folks perspective, from a political formulaic way. It's one thing to talk about the latest thing that Trump did. It's another thing to talk about what's the context. In fact, let's get into that. So thank you for your subscription. I know I'm going to earn it, especially in this video. Here's the thing. If you look at his playbook, and I'm always doing an update of this, his playbook, the latest score, the context of what he's saying and who's fighting back, you never ever worry about it. Every time I see something shocking, I go, ha! And I'm going to give you some examples about that in a moment. The first thing, what's the playbook? The playbook is break the law. If he gets caught in the lower courts, go to the appeals court and then take it to the Supreme Court. The problem with that over the last 12 weeks, and why I'm smiling and you should smile too, is that this stupid son of a gun has lost the majority of those things. Let me give you a score here. Out of 49 federal rulings, he's only won 3. Yes, 3. Yes, 3. So he's in trouble. He's in trouble. And what I keep telling everybody is, listen, don't sweat the small stuff. Don't sweat the small stuff. You might ask, well, what's the 3? It was the right to do the buyout for federal employees. Who cares about that, right? The other one was this Mahmoud guy who came out of Columbia University, who was arrested, has the right to be deported. They won the right to do that. But the good news about that is that their same playbook I just told you, lower court, appeals court, Supreme Court, we got the same right. So we lost that, but we can take it to the appeals court and as high as the Supreme Court to get the guy defended. Now, can we hold him being deported? I don't know if the paperwork's been on that. This is brand new. We're not sure. But we are sure that we can continue to fight it. All right? Then let's go into the third one. The third one, I think, is a setup. He basically won the right to use the Alien Enemies Act with the Supreme Court. His only Supreme Court win out of 3. But the interesting part about that is that I think it's a setup because they have one condition as the Supreme Court, and that was that there has to be due process, habeas corpus. There has to be due process of the law. Trump don't do due process of the law. That's a setup. He messes up. His administration's in contempt of court, and yes, they're very afraid of that. They've shown it. Here's the other thing about that that's really interesting. If he in fact does do due process, let's look back at the score. I just told you he's 3-46. What do you think his numbers are going to be when he puts these people who he just pulled off the street, who are mostly regular people, non-criminals, through the court system? He's going to lose. Now, let's go into the context, and I'll give you an example on that. Every time you hear something about like martial law, man, that's a red herring. Martial law, well, if it happens, it'll be to his detriment. Think about the pandemic. People wouldn't even go inside for the pandemic. They wouldn't even vax for the pandemic. You mean tell me he's going to make up martial law and ain't nobody sick? On top of that, let's get even more interesting. This nut job talking about he's going to move the Social Security support for elderly to Twitter. Really? Oh, you think there might be somebody who might object to that? Which brings me to who's fighting back. That's the fourth part. Who's fighting back? Well, the best Democrats we got are our governors and AGs across 23 states. We are winning. Since the last 12 months, 12 weeks, they have been suing and winning. Everything from birthright citizenship, migrants, immigration, some DEI stuff, it's been a fight, an ugly one, but we've been winning. Who else has been fighting with us? Nonprofit organizations like the ACLU. They've been suing their butts off. Both groups have been preparing for this for a year, and they're not fucking around. Here's the other third group, the judges themselves holding down the judicial branch. And the GOP has done everything to piss them off. You talking about impeaching a fellow judge for making a judgment? Oh, that pissed them off. And you say, well, who cares? Oh, you should. Because when they got sued by Oversight American, all of those people involved in Signalgate, the courts chose somebody for them. Boasberg, the same person who they wanted to impeach, but they can't. They don't have the votes to do it. So what does Mike Johnson do? Something totally stupid. He passes a law through the House of Representatives, total waste of time, trying to say the judges cannot do bans like they're doing, injunctions. Well, here's the problem, Mike, and he knows it. Here's the problem. One, you have to pass it through Congress to become a law. He ain't got the votes no more. He got the votes to get impeachment. First it goes through the House, then it goes through Senate. But they want to basically with your minds and have you thinking, oh my God. The other thing is, even if you passed it into a law, it would be struck down. It's against the Constitution. How do I know that? Because we're taught this in school all the time. The Constitution has 3 branches of government. What does the judicial branch do? You got the legislature making laws, the executive hopefully enforcing laws, okay? But then there's that third branch that interprets the law. You can't tell a federal judge that they can't do their jobs. It's in the Constitution to do their jobs. Oh my God. So they're screwing up across the board, and it's not going to work. What they're doing is appearing strong. But out of all of the execution they've done, let's say 99%, only 1% is effective because it keeps getting struck down by judges. They keep getting sued by nonprofits like ACLU, and they keep getting attacked by the governors and attorney generals from almost half the union, 23 states. That's why I tell black folks, chill out. That's why I tell be cool, because we got this. Did I earn your subscription? I hope so.